Error, service phone with 403 error. Could be anything. We'll find out. So this is a 20-30 minute Sunday session, feel good hypnosis type thing. We'll see where we get into it. This week we're talking about kind of the stuff that, the lies we tell ourselves, the voice that's in our head. And what we're going to do a little bit differently this time is what we'll be doing is the hypnosis will be all the way through it if you need it to be. So if you want it to be hypnotic, then just close your eyes and listen to this. If you just want to see this as just a motivational chit chat, then you can do that as well. There is nothing stopping that from happening. I'm going to go ahead and go live. I don't know if I'm live everywhere yet. If you can see me on Facebook or YouTube or anywhere else like that, then let me know. Let me just check myself. Whenever you get a bit of a notification at the beginning, you always got to kind of make sure everything is good. Where are we getting the error from? Well, that's not showing live there. Right, let's. I don't even know how to stop that whilst that's there. Anyway, all it is good. So we'll get going. But we're not live where we're meant to be. But hey ho, if I can't edit that one, create new stream. Sunday session. See if this will fix it. I don't know if it will, to be fair, but we'll give it a try. It's the joys of life. It's always when I'm rushing around as well, as I always am on Sunday. Perfect. Fortunately, we can't stay broadcast in time. Please try again. Wonderful. So we're going to do a new live now. All changes successfully saved. Edit schedule. Let's not have it like that. Let's just save and let's just go live. There we go. The joys of going live, guys. And look, my camera's shifted. There we go. Let me just move that. There we go. Hopefully everything's well. Oh, I've just got some comments coming up from YouTube. So hopefully that is working well. Yes. So, gremlins in the system. Let me know where you're watching from. It's always interesting to see how far these things reach. I know over on TikTok, gives a wave. If you do think someone you know will benefit from this, then share that to them, double tap the screen, do all the other stuff as well. Yes, live stream tutorials with grants honours. Yes, it's when stuff goes wrong, just carry on regardless. So as I was saying, we're going to change things up a little bit. We're going to make these slightly differently, hypnotically. So rather than having a bit of advice at the beginning and then latching on the end, all of it will kind of become hypnotic. So if you want it to be hypnotic, then just Seattle. Whenever I see WA, I also think of Western Australia, but I do mean that is Washington. So thank you for joining. Cool. It's great to see the comments coming in from YouTube as well. So let's get into it. So this one's a little bit different, and this is a topic that should be a little bit interesting. So whether you're watching this live on the catch-up, then do kind of let me know. If you are watching on the replay, then do just simply say replay. Every week my goal is really simple. It's not necessarily just to motivate you and pump you up. It's not necessarily to make you feel great for half an hour and then forget about it by Monday morning. The goal of these is to help you think just a little bit differently, because genuinely I believe when you change the way you think, you begin to change the way you live your life. And so if you join me live tonight, please do say hello in the comments. It does help me and encourage me a little bit. Do tell me where you're watching from. We've already got our furthest so far is Seattle. And I always love seeing how far these conversations do travel. And if you're watching on the replay, just type replay. I do try and read and respond to every single comment. Now, last week, we spoke about something that kind of resonated with quite a few people. That's autopilot. We talked about how easy it is to just get stuck in a drift through life without ever noticing it consciously. We talked about kind of the wake up, breakfasts, driving to work, same conversations, same habits, those same routines, and then suddenly it's Friday, then it's Christmas, then it's another year has disappeared. And I think this is something we all experience, that somewhere along the way, life becomes that, well, it's just something that happened to us, instead of something that we are actually living in the moment right now. The response last week kind of really caught me off guard. It genuinely blew me away. People messaging me saying how they have deliberately driven a different route to work. Someone even joked about brushing their teeth with the wrong hand. I would not recommend that. And someone's talking about how they sat in a different chair at home. And it feels strange. I love that. It means that people are getting involved. Not because changing chairs changes your life. I love how that sounds. Changing chairs changes your life. But it wakes your brain up. It reminds your subconscious mind that I'm actually paying attention, that I want to be involved in my life. And so tonight, I want to build on that. Because waking your brain up is one thing. But what do you feed it? That is something completely different when you think about it. Hi, love in the comments on YouTube. So yeah, let me ask you a question. Who's had the biggest influence over your life? Think about it. Was it your parents? Was it a teacher? Partner? Friend? Somebody you admired? Maybe. But I actually think someone else has had an even bigger influence over the person that you've spent the most time listening to. And that's you. And here's the fascinating thing. Most people have absolutely no idea what they're saying to themselves. The most dangerous conversation you will ever have, yes, the most dangerous conversation you will ever have is the one nobody else can hear. It's the conversation you have with yourself. Because that conversation, that becomes your reality. Think about that. I mean, really think about that for a moment. Nobody else hears it. Nobody challenges it. Nobody corrects it. It's just you repeating the same story over and over and over again. Yes, attention to Brian. Now, here's something that really changed the way I looked at life. Your subconscious mind doesn't wake up every morning and ask, is this true? It asks, have I heard this enough times to believe it? And that's a massive difference. Because if you keep saying things like, I'm terrible with money, I'm always late, I'm not confident, I'm unlucky, I'm too old for that sort of thing. And some of you may say I am. I'm too young to do that. I'm not clever enough. Eventually, your subconscious stops treating these things like opinions and starts treating them like instructions. As a hypnotist, I see this all the time. Let's do something. And I want you to be honest here. Josh, you will have an email. Message me your email. I'll send you an email tomorrow morning with something that I've just finished just for you. So here's something when you say things over and over again. Now, what is it that you're saying to yourself? Again, health anxiety is a great example. What are you telling yourself? Maybe it's, I'm tired. Maybe it's, I'll do it tomorrow. I've not got enough time. I'm no good with technology. I hear that one all the time. I'm useless with names. I can never remember them. I always mess things up. Type in the comment, what's the thing that you say the most to yourself? That comment that probably isn't true, but you keep repeating to yourself. As you do that, because I promise you this, if you're saying it, you're also probably living it. I caught myself doing it. I caught myself doing this exactly a few years ago. I didn't even realise I was doing it. But every time someone asked if I was busy, I'd laugh and say, I'm exhausted. Every single week, I'm exhausted, I'm shattered, I'm tired. I'm keeping the wolf from the door. I'm running on empty. And this became part of my identity. It became who I was. And guess what? That's exactly how I felt. And then one day, I kind of caught myself saying it. I think it was during one of these Sunday sessions that I made that change. Why am I rehearsing being tired? Why am I training my own brain to expect exhaustion, anxiety, stress? Don't get me wrong, I was busy. I am busy. But I needed to remind myself to be grateful of those blessings. I was giving my subconscious a script every single day. So I changed it. Not overnight, not perfectly, definitely not perfectly, but intentionally. And instead of saying, I'm exhausted, I'd say something like, it's been a full day, or I've earned a good night's rest. And it's just a slight change. But you know what changed? Not just my language, but my energy. Because the words we repeat shape the way we experience life. Awesome, Josh. I will get on to, I did mean to reply to you, but yeah, I'll get on to that first thing tomorrow morning, buddy. So be careful what follows the words I am, because whatever comes next, your brain starts to look for as evidence. If you say, I am unlucky, I only have bad luck, then your brain says, okay, leave that with me. It will look for clues to validate that. If you say, I am confident, your brain says, I'll start collecting evidence and proof. If you say, I'm always overlooked, your brain replies, I'll show you every time that that's been true for you. The brain is like the best and worst personal assistant in the world. It just simply follows your instructions. The problem is, most of us never realized that we were the ones giving the instructions. Now, some people hear this and kind of say, like, oh, so you're saying if I just think positively, everything's going to magically work out. Not at all. Life doesn't work that way. Life is still going to be life. Things are still going to go wrong. Cars break down. Businesses struggle. Relationships end. People let us down. But here's the difference. The story you tell yourself about these moments determines how you respond to them. That's where the real power is. I'll give you an example. You guys know that I travel a lot, all over the world, including Rotherham. I go all over the places, corporate shows, networking. I do thousands of miles every year. And every journey gives me a choice. I can spend 4 hours telling myself, traffic is ruining my day. And it used to. Or I can ask, what can I do with these 4 hours? Listen to a podcast, think, plan, pray, phone somebody, learn. Traffic didn't change, I changed. I use traffic and long journeys now as a great way of kind of listening to audiobooks. Show's not sponsored by Audible, but I am open to it. The quality of your life rarely changes because of what happens to you. It changes because of the story you tell yourself about what happened. There's lots of examples in that through life of people that have been through horrific stuff and they're still positive, and some people that have had hardly anything happen to them and they kind of struggle with it. Now that sentence kind of changed my life a little bit because it took the power away from those circumstances and it hands it back to you. One of the biggest turning points in my own journey came during COVID. And many people, you've heard the story. But like so many people in the entertainment industry, the diary just disappeared overnight. Like overnight. Shows vanished. Bookings stopped. Plans changed. Now, it would have been easy to keep telling myself that that's it, this is over. And I know a lot of people that they gave up their entertainment career. But instead, something unexpected happened. A live stream opened a new door for me. One conversation led to another. Then that led to kind of weekly live streams. They connected me to people all over the world. Relationships were built, ideas grew, and opportunities I never could have predicted appeared. And if I'd have kept repeating, it's over, I might never have noticed what was at the beginning. Sometimes the story that gets you through a difficult season isn't pretending that everything is fine. It's choosing to believe that no matter what happens, you can overcome it. There's still another chapter to write. Your future you is listening. It was interesting. I'm reading a great book or listening to a great book at the moment, and it talks about that you should be your future butler. So do things today that the future you will make their life easier. If you know what you want to be wearing tomorrow, prepare it tonight so when you wake up, it's there for you. The future you is always listening, and it's always listening to the story that you're telling yourself today. So if you wouldn't say it to somebody you love, then why are you saying this to yourself? Think about that. And here's a question I want to leave hanging for just a moment. Because after the break in our thinking, I want to show you something incredible. Your brain is actually designed. It's called the reticular activating system, I believe. Your brain is designed to find evidence for the story you already believe. And once you understand that, you'll never look at your own thoughts in the same way again. So let me ask you something. And the hypnotist will know this story. But have you ever bought a new car? I don't necessarily mean brand new, I mean a new car to you. And then suddenly, you will see that car everywhere. You swear half the country has suddenly gone out and bought exactly the same car. Of course they haven't. Those cars were there all the time. You just never noticed them. Because until that moment, they weren't important to you. Your brain decided, oh, that's relevant now. And suddenly, you can't stop seeing them everywhere. And here's what makes that interesting. Your brain does exactly the same with your beliefs. Sean says, I was looking for Grant and found him. Raz in action. Absolutely. So your brain doesn't show you reality. It's showing you the reality that you've trained it to look for. And that's a huge difference. We label that reality. We label it our reality, but it's not. If I walk into a room with 100 people and I spend all week telling myself that nobody likes me, guess what I'm going to notice? I'm going to notice the people with their arms folded. I'm going to notice the people who don't smile. I'm going to find the evidence that backs that up. Not the 99 people who didn't do that, just the one. Because my brain says, there it is. There's the evidence. Now imagine someone else who walks into that exact same room believing people are genuinely kind. People want to listen to me and connect. They notice something completely different. Same room, same people, completely different experience. I see this all the time at business networking. I go to a great network called Sam Networking. As a performer, you know, I don't have a tangible product to sell most of the people in the room. But it's interesting to see the different people and how they respond, new people to that room. It's the same room, different experience. The reality didn't change. But if you change their filter, their reality then changes. Can I tell you something that I've learned from years of stage hypnosis? And I mean years, learning from all the mistakes. People often ask me, Grant, how do those people do those silly things on stage? Do you know what surprises them? It's not because these people are weak. It's definitely not because they're stupid. It's because I've somehow taken over their mind? Absolutely not. It's because the mind responds to expectation. If somebody genuinely expects something to happen, the mind starts looking towards making it happen. That's hypnosis. Now imagine what happens when you've spent 20 years expecting to fail, or expecting rejection, or expecting disappointment, or anxiety. Do you see why your story matters? Do you see why the things that you say in your head to yourself are so important? Expectation is the foundation of all hypnosis. It's a rehearsal for reality. What are you rehearsing? What are you rehearsing every single day? Think about the language you use. I've always been anxious. I'm just too shy to do that type of thing. I'm terrible at public speaking. That was the story I told myself for years about public speaking. I'm hopeless with money. I'm so unlucky. If it wasn't for bad luck, I'd have no luck. These are identities. That's a massive difference between saying I felt a bit nervous today and I am a nervous person. One describes a moment. The other, that creates a prison. Loving the cold water at the moment. I meet people all the time who introduce themselves with their limitation, especially as a hypnotist, almost as if they're reading out their CV. Oh, I'm useless with technology. I can't remember names. I'm terrible at networking. Imagine introducing yourself like that every day, and eventually you are going to believe it. So let me tell you a story. I do love a good story, but the hypnotist will know there's something mesmerizing about that. So years ago, before I ever stepped on stage as a hypnotist, I was terrified of speaking in front of people. I genuinely mean terrified. I got into doing stage in order to overcome that fear. The idea of standing in front of a room full of strangers, I would have the sweaty palms. It was a real fear. In fact, I told the younger version of me that one day I'd be traveling the world, speaking and performing, teaching, hosting conferences, live streaming. Like, I would have laughed. Not because it wasn't possible, because it didn't fit the story that I had about myself. That story, I'm not that person. Until one day, well, I was. I realised something is you don't become confident. You take action and confidence catches up. I never thought I would be a video person or a live streaming person until I had to be. Confidence isn't something you find. It's evidence that you collect along the way. Every brave decision leaves you with a receipt. Think about it. Confidence isn't magic, it's memory. Your brain remembers, I've survived this before. I've done this before. I'll probably be able to do it again. And that's why action matters so much. I joke about my confidence on stage comes from everything that could happen on stage has happened to me. So now I'm confident on stage because I know whatever happens, I've got it in the bag. And that helps you just open that door of confidence. Every action changes your life. Every action changes your identity. Here's something I want you to, what I want everyone watching to do tomorrow. If you watch it on the replay, do it whenever. But I want you to do just one thing, a tiny thing. The old version of you wouldn't normally do this. It doesn't have to be something dramatic. But smile at someone first. Start a conversation. Take a different route. Apply for that opportunity. Post the video. Send that email. Whatever it is, because every small action whispers something into your unconscious. It whispers, we're becoming someone new. I love smiling at strangers and creating that conversation. It really helps build that confidence. So we're going to have a bit of fun again for those of you that are active in the comment section. I want you to finish this sentence. This week, I am becoming somebody who, ... I want you to put that in the comment section. You're going to put it out into the universe. And you, by putting it there, by typing it, by taking that action, you're going to kind of give yourself that accountability. So I want you to put in the comment section, this week, I am someone who, and it can be anything, something simple as somebody who looks after themselves, somebody who speaks with confidence. This week, I'm going to be somebody who takes opportunities. I'm going to be somebody who keeps promises, like I promised to Josh that I'll send him that audio. I'm going to be someone who stops overthinking. Write it down, put it in the chat, because writing it makes it real. There's a quote I absolutely love. Whether you've heard it or not, listen carefully. Watch your thoughts because they become your words. Watch your words because they become your actions. Watch your actions because they become your habits. And watch your habits because they become your character. And watch your character because it becomes your destiny. Now, I don't know who first said that, but I know that they are true. Everything starts with a thought. Think about that. So, as we go into this again, your life changes twice. The day you change your actions and the day you change the story that you tell yourself. That creates those actions. That second one lasts longer. Here's the thing. You can force yourself to act differently for a while. Diet, exercise, business. Thank you. Yeah, but if the story underneath it never changes, eventually you're going to drift back. People that diet know this. People that take up the gym know this. Because behavior follows identity. And that's why this matters. This isn't positive thinking. It's about becoming aware of the script you've been reading from for years and deciding maybe it's time to write a new chapter. Give yourself permission to break free from that old you. Thank you, Amira. Take a breath, just for a moment. Think about the story that you've been carrying. Where did it come from? Who first told you that you weren't enough? Who first told you to play small? And who told you that you couldn't? And here's the important question. Is that story actually yours? Have you simply been just carrying somebody else's limitations for years? Because if you inherited that story, you don't have to keep living by it. Now, I want to finish tonight with a picture. Not a real picture. But one in your imagination. Because sometimes the pictures that we create in our mind stay with us much longer than the words that we hear. So imagine, just for a moment, that someone handed you 2 books. Both books have your names on the front. Same cover, same title. Really think about it. What are the books made out of? The paperbacks, hardbacks. The only difference of them is what's going to be written inside. The first book, this is everything you've been telling yourself until today. Every chapter starts the same way. I'm not ready. I'm too old. I'm too young. What if it fails? People like me don't do things like that. I'll wait until the time's right. Let's just get this summer out of the way, then I'll start. I'm not quite confident enough yet. It's my favourite, I'm just an ordinary person. Page after page, same story, different day, same script. Finding that comfort and settling for it. Now imagine opening that second book. Same person, same life, same circumstances, but somewhere, one chapter changed. Just one. Because life suddenly became easier. Not because money magically appeared, although I'm not opposed to magically appearing money. Not because all the problems disappeared. One chapter changed. Because the main character, you, stopped believing in the old story, the old narrator. The most powerful moment in your life is the moment that you realize that you are holding the pen, not your past, not your fear, not your circumstances, not the things that happened to you. You have always been the author. You just forgot. Now, I know what some of you may be thinking. Grant, it can't be that simple. You're right. It isn't. Changing a story you've been telling yourself for years isn't easy. It can be painful. Sometimes it means questioning things you've believed for years. Sometimes it means admitting that you've been arguing for your own limitations. Here's what I do know. You cannot rewrite your future whilst insisting on reading yesterday's script. Stop asking, what if I fail? Start asking, what if this is now my moment? What if this finally works? Because you've spent years rehearsing failure. Maybe it's time to rehearse success. You know, one of my favorite things about stage hypnosis is when you see someone surprise themselves. People often come up afterwards and kind of say, I didn't think I could do that. I always smile because they always could. I didn't give them any skills that they didn't have. They could always do that. They always had the confidence to be a ballerina in front of thousands of people. The only thing that changed was the story. One evening, one suggestion. They stopped saying, I'm not that sort of person. And they discovered maybe they were. And here's the thing. You don't need me to hypnotize you to change your story. You just need awareness. So once you hear the script, you can choose to rewrite it. Let's do something together. If you're watching live, or even if you're on the replay, I'd love you to join me. Finish this sentence. From today, the story I'm choosing is. Not the story you've been given, but the story you're choosing. Maybe it's I back myself. I'm going to give things a go. I'm going to give myself permission. I can learn. I deserve happiness. I'm becoming stronger. I'm capable. Whatever it is, write it down. Not because typing words changes your life, but because it marks a decision. The future you, your future, isn't created by one massive decision. It's created by thousands of tiny moments where you stop believing that old story and you start creating a new one. I honestly believe every single person watching tonight and on the replay has so much more inside of them than they currently believe. Not because I'm trying to make you feel good, but because I've seen it. I've experienced it. I've watched nervous people become speakers. I've watched people convinced that they couldn't perform walk onto a stage. I've watched businesses start with one conversation. And I've watched friendships really blossom and bloom simply because somebody said hello. Everything starts with a different story, a tiny moment that changes your life. That makes sense? So, challenge of the week. Azure Wellness. Do check out Azure Wellness. Give them a follow as well. Proper, serious counsellor. Here's your challenge. It's simple. Every morning this week, before you pick up your phone, before you look at the news, before you check your emails, before you do any of that stuff, just ask yourself, what story am I going to rehearse today? When you catch yourself saying, I can't, I never, I always, I'm just, pause, smile, have a bit of a shake, and then replace it. Because every replacement is another sentence in your new book. And then obviously send me messages, let me know what you notice differently this week as well. Because one day, years from now, you're going to look back at your life and realize there was one moment that changed everything. There were hundreds of tiny moments after that moment, quiet moments, moments where nobody applauded, nobody noticed, nobody congratulated you. Just one decision, to stop believing the person you used to be. And you decided who you were going to become. That decision. Could be tonight. It could be right now. I'll take all the credit for it. Or you can do it tomorrow morning. It's up to you. And that's the important thing. It is up to you. So thank him for spending part of your Sunday with me. I have actually gone over time, as usual. Hopefully this Sunday session has helped you. Please share it. If you never know whose story might be changed because you clicked one button. And if you're watching on the replay, please do leave me a comment. Genuinely love to hear what story you're choosing this week. Next Sunday, we're going to be going deeper and deeper into this journey as well. Because once you've changed that story, the next question, well, that becomes, how do you make it stick when life gets hard? That's what we'll be dealing with next Sunday. Guys, thank you for joining me. If you don't already, please do subscribe on YouTube, where you'll find all the replays for these things as well. If you're on TikTok, double click the screen and share some love there as well. Every Sunday at 7:30, we do these Sunday sessions, and we're tweaking them a little bit. It used to be like mindset and then hypnosis tagged on the end. We're now kind of rolling it all into one. You'll notice some language patterns within there to help these stick with you. Guys, thank you for joining me this week. As I hope you are well. We need to go have a coffee this week as well. Guys, take care. Have a great week. And don't forget, hypnosis, it's not what you think, it's what you think.